How y'all doing today? My name's Ayn. Today's topic of discussion is going to be more out than in. More out than in. I'm thinking about this when I'm thinking about dealing with others. This is what leads into, people that are basically wasting your time. They're wasting your time or they're becoming time sinks. Keep in mind, relationships are flexible. None of us have it all figured out. Nobody's standing on 2 feet. One day I might be standing tall, you might be leaning on me. The next day, you might be standing tall and I'm leaning on you. So nobody has it all figured out. So relationships are a give and a take. And sometimes there's going to be moments where you're like I said, you're leaning on others, you're looking for counsel, or they're just they're talking to you, giving you the best of them that they can give. And sometimes you're doing the same thing. It's vice versa. But what I'm talking about is that once you start building up a history and you're looking out, and I'm not talking about on this 100% scale to where you're looking, you're like, okay, it looks like it's 51% out. Like I'm keeping a tally of everything that goes on in a relationship. It's 51% out on me giving to them, and they're 49% in on what they give to me. Relationship is garbage. It's toxic. I need to toss it to the side. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about when you're building that history and you're looking out that it's more out than in, when you're like, man, maybe the relationship started out good, where it was equal balance. There were some rough spots, like anything. I'm talking about relationships in general. There, were rough spots, but that's what being friends, getting over hurdles, strengthening, that's what that is all about. That's a work on both ends, not just one person. It's a work on both efforts. Sometimes the other person might drop the ball. You pick it up, you're running with it. Maybe they're not even quite sure what went wrong. But you all are still maneuvering and you're going on. And sometimes it might be the other way around. Those are moments where you don't see eye to eye. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is when you look out and that relationship, I'm giving you an example. Maybe it's went on 20 years. Maybe, first to 10, you were like, man, this person, man, they were a good person. This was a good relationship. Yeah, it was ups and downs, but you generally think of the relationship being better than its lower spots. But then as that 20 years goes on up to 25, 30 years, 35, you're looking, you're like, okay, this stinks. These last 20 years is just I don't know what's happened. The person is soured. It's just all bad, and one of the reasons could be is because we're always changing. We're always changing. We're always growing. At least I would like to hope that we are. Some people, you can find some people that are stuck doing some of the same things that they were when they were, adolescent years. But for the most part, we're all changing. We're all growing. I would like to think that we're maturing. But sometimes it comes into question where you have to reevaluate people, who's in your life. You don't just get to earn a spot there and you can just sit complacent and do whatever. You're just comfortable. I'm gonna be me. I don't have to accept you being you. I'm already up off in that. That's not how that works with people up off in their life. I get to say and do whatever it is, however I make you. You can't do it up to me because this is just how it's being. No, that's not the way that it goes. And that's why I brought up that topic of more out than in. When you're dealing with people and you find out, man, this is just starting to be draining. This is actually taking me away from doing things that I'm trying to do. But I'm trying to be there for you up as a person, but you have me stumbling. Maybe it's time to redefine those boundaries on just how much they're in your life. Maybe you have to pick them up, place them over here for a moment. I know I've had to do that. I remember one particular friend where I actually had to have a sit down with them and let them know, hey, look, I don't know what you're doing or what's going on. Like I said, this is not what I'm suggesting you do, because relationships are delicate. Only you know what your relationship needs and what it could take. So I'm not trying to oversimplify this and saying, this works in all aspects. I've had other relationships where it still ended up with the same result, but I didn't go about doing it in this particular way that I'm telling you now. But with this friend, I had to, tell him, I'm like, look, I don't know what you're doing. You are way out here in left field. What I tried to do with them, like I said, this was many, many years ago, try to let them know on some things, some mishaps of what they're doing. It was like, man, you are on a bad road. And from what I have going, we can't blur these lines because I don't want to get caught up with this. But that was the type of relationship I had with that person. So again, like I said, it's many different ways. I'm just sharing with you a piece of what happened up with them. And we separated. We didn't separate, stomping our feet mad like, we can't talk. It was just, they respected it on what it was. They had their excuses and their reasons behind what they were doing. And I had my reasons on what I was doing. So, we went separate ways. And then there's been other situations where maybe the person is so pig-headed, you can't even talk to them because, they're rejecting everything. They're defensive. So since they set up that way that you all's relationship operates, maybe you just had to kind of take it back to yourself, redefine those boundaries without them being, wiser. I'm quite sure when they look over time, they're like, well, things have changed between me and Ayin. Maybe, I'm not in that bubble as much as that I was. And, that's for them to figure out because that's the way the relationship is. So I'm just giving you a few examples on how things work there, where you have to reevaluate. And like I said, I wanted to give I wanted to give those two different ways that I handled the same situation. So like I said, it's not to be seen as trying to oversimplify on just, writing people off or just sitting down talking to, because I realize some people you can't talk to. You talk to, they're all defensive. It leads up into an argument. People are really, really touchy when you're trying to do things. That's the reason why I said the only thing that you fully have control over, and I can guarantee that you can do something about, is you. Because there's so many different personalities out there, and people react to things differently. And like I said, there's varying degrees of fragileness with the relationships. It's hard to speak on, at this point in time, you do this with the relationship. All I can tell you is you do what you need to be able to do to keep me and you. Because that's what counts. Think about it. If you don't have what you need to be able to give yourself, to give to others, what good are you? If you don't have the proper nourishment that you need up for yourself and you go off the deep end, how good are you for others? So you got to take care of yourself first. So that's the reason why I came to this topic of more out than in. There may be relationships where you have to reevaluate. You're like, I'm putting more out than what I'm receiving in. Not that I'm looking for a return on my investment up with this relationship, but hey, this is draining. It's causing me to stumble. It's taking me way off path. Sometimes friends do that for one another, so don't get it twisted. Sometimes people, they stop and they wait on the other. Because that's what friendship's about. But I'm talking about you being way off path. You're way out here in the left field. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're actually probably putting in danger things in your life. And it's just a more out than in. You got to reevaluate that. Ask, what am I doing? What are they doing? What are we doing? That's all I wanted to say. In the meantime, check out a book I've written. Kilimanjaro's The Arithmetic of Family Communication. I'll leave a link in the description box. You can get the book on, there's a lot of glare on there. You can get the book on Amazon in paperback or a PDF copy, which is an ebook. Or you get an ebook, not a PDF, an ebook copy. And I'll have those links in the description box. If you hadn't already, I'm on other social media as well, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr. Follow me on any of those social media websites. Those are also in the link. And if you hadn't already, go ahead and click that subscribe button. In the meantime, if you got questions, you can go ahead and hit me up at ayin.kilimanjaro@gmail.com. I'll do my best to answer your question in a video. Okay? So stay encouraged, avoid being discouraged, and until next time, you have a good one.